And last but not least, favorite Ja Rule track. Ja Rule in the 2000s, I love Ja Rule's work. Between Me and You with Christina Milian, Put It On Me featuring Vita and Lil Mo, him and Ashanti. The relationship, the chemistry between them two. I mean, they put out some great tracks together. I mean, Always on Time, Mesmerize, the chemistry between them two. I mean, it's murder. I mean, Ja Rule gets a lot of flack because of obviously the whole beef between he and 50 Cent. But back in the day, Ja Rule put out some great tracks. Bangers too, Living It Up, I'm Real, the remix with him and Jennifer Lopez. Ain't It Funny? So I mean, I love some of Ja Rule's work and some of his performances back in them days in 106 in Park, man. But he and Ashanti, I mean, back then in the early 2000s, that was a really great rap and R&B duo between those two. Really good, great duo between those two. Love their chemistry. Love the music videos. Down for You. Shout out to the late great Irv Gotti. God rest your soul. Thank you for Murder Inc. Records. Thank you for some of the artists that you put, such as Ja Rule, Ashanti, Charlie Baltimore, and much more, man. Undisputed World Champ. What's your favorite track from Ja Rule?
Holla holla.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Even Ja Rule said I was trying to be Tupac and stuff back then, but Holla Holla was good. Vitty 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 was a great album, and Thug Love, that
With
was a
Bobby
great
Brown.
one with Bobby Brown. And the way, hey man, the energy that Bobby Brown came off that helicopter with,
Yes.
that was epic. I think the Rain is calling Murder. The song he did with Cadillac Ty, that one was good.
Oh, let's not forget that track with him and Mary J. Blige.
Yeah,
Although
all
it was Mary J. Blige's song, yeah.
yeah,
Rainy Days.
he had a very very unique sound, man. It's unfortunately that him and some of the beefs that he had kind of dampened his career. But look, people may disagree with me on this one, and I don't mind taking heat. Without Ja Rule, there is no Drake. He set the tone for stuff like that. He was the first rapper that was singing and doing duets and singing in low tone and doing stuff like that. Without Ja Rule, there is no Drake. Ja Rule set the tone for that.
That's a
He
hot
set the
take.
tone. Huh?
That's a hot take right there.
Yeah. Ja Rule was the first rapper that I ever seen get on duets and sing with actual other artists. People used to knock him for that back then, but look at what Drake is doing right now. The first to do it was Ja. He got a lot of heat back then because everybody was trying to do gangster rap and stuff like that. But the thing was, he did what worked for him. And look how well those songs have aged to this day. Look how well those songs have aged. And the thing is, look, people, look, let's just be clear. I had 50 Cent's mixtape when he came out. 50 Cent is the future. I had 50 Cent's mixtape when he was on Stretch Armstrong. Yes, I know I'm from down south, but guess what? I had 50 Cent's mixtapes when he first came out. Of course, everybody is gonna side with the new hot artist. And 50 got him, but that was no excuse for hip hop was not as forgiving as it was back when MC Shan and KRS-One was beefing. MC Shan lost that beef with him and KRS-One, was able to still have a career. After that whole beef between Ja Rule and 50, 50 was the biggest artist, like, as far as debut, like ever. So, and the debut build up was years in the making. So that unfortunately put a damper on his career. Not to mention, people don't like to acknowledge this. A lot of beef
Not
came
just
with
not just
DMX,
that, Eminem too.
the Eminem, and then you remember he was beefing at one point earlier in his career with DMX. Because people, and the thing is, and the way he said it, he's like, bro, both of us have deep voices. You know, both of us have deep voices, and unfortunately, if people, and they sounded very, very different, by the way. He said if people can't distinguish who it is between me and you, then they don't want to, because I don't sound exactly like you, and you sure as heck don't sound exactly like me. But
But I thought people just knocked on Ja Rule because he was trying to act like Tupac.
who didn't want to act like Tupac back then? Everybody was trying to act like Tupac. The only reason why everybody, look, the biggest, the big, the best form of flattery is imitation. Everybody wanted to be like Pac. I mean, you know, even Jay-Z, he said, look, Tupac dissed me about 5-6 times. I still love Tupac. So, of course, you know, you're a new artist coming out. You're going to look at what grabbed attention. And he admitted it. He said, that's how come on my second album, I switched it up. I didn't want to do that anymore. Vitty Vitty Vitty, it was the gangster album. It was good. But on that second album, I said he made sure he did what was him. And like I said, when you think about the singing, when you think about the singing on hooks and doing a lot of things, doing duets and stuff like that, who started that first? It was Ja Rule. It was Ja. People don't like to acknowledge that because he lost the beef, unfortunately. But it set a tone for a new way to rap, a new way to express yourself, a new way to rhyme. Always on Time was a great hit. You know, mesmerized, all of that. Like I said, that set the tone for what Drake came out and did with the whole singing. That set tones. People don't like to acknowledge certain things because, like we stated throughout the show, they didn't particularly like Ja Rule because guess what? You know, he either was trying to be Tupac in a lot of people's opinion on his first album. He sounded like DMX, but was not as good as X, which everybody will acknowledge. And he lost the beat. There was a lot of knocks on Ja Rule, but guess what? You can't deny what he did for hip hop and how that new sound that he made affected us in the future. Before he did that, you had Slick Rick and a lot of other rappers who would kind of sing on hooks, but not in that but didn't give it that R&B feel. Right. You know, we heard Snoop Dogg saying, I'm not flagging, but I'm just sagging. I bet you don't want to see the D-O-double-G. But he did that in a gangster tone. You didn't hear him do that in an R&B type of tone. So Ja Rule set the tone for what Drake can do today. Because without Ja Rule, it's not as accepted. And if you really look at it nowadays, people are going back and listening to Ja Rule's old albums and saying, damn, this stuff was actually tight. Stuff was actually real, real good. Unfortunately, we were so caught up in the beef back then of, you know.
That overshadowed that.
Yes, it got on. And the thing was, look, had Eminem not gotten in that beef, we probably would have been talking about a whole new story.
Well, it wasn't just Eminem, too. You also mentioned Busta Rhymes as well.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake. Yeah, that was a huge. That was
Busta even said it himself. Look, listen, I may joke here and there and stuff like that, but when it comes to the meat and potatoes. But again, I think Ja Rule, he gets slept on because he did have a lot of hit singles, a lot of big party songs like "Living It Up." And if you play some of the younger people, if you actually listen to some of his music back then, you'll realize just how good he was. But people don't want to talk about that because of the other things we discussed. The beef with 50, the situation with Eminem, and all the other things. And I just don't think he got the credit or the respect that he deserved. People always had the question about his identity and a lot of other things. But back in them days, I did love me some Ja Rule. Especially in them days watching 106 in Park, man. That was fun.
Yes, back in them days. Yeah. And if you look at the three who brought back New York and who brought back Def Jam, there was three guys who brought back Def Jam and brought back New York in the late 90s, early 2000s. Jay-Z,
Mm-hmm.
DMX, and Ja Rule. I remember the cover of The Source. I remember with all three of them on the same songs multiple times, and them just going at it on those tracks. So for them not to acknowledge that Ja Rule played a big part of the history is an injustice to hip hop. Because without Ja, without Jay, without X, Def Jam doesn't go into the stratosphere in the late 90s. Those three are who set the tone for Def Jam to be back.
Let's not forget LL too.
Yeah, but LL was always, the staple mate at Def Jam.
I know, but even in the '90s, the late '90s, he took it to another level. Plus, you even mentioned one of his albums, "GOAT," greatest of all time. He coined that term.
Yeah, from Earl to Goat men ago. People need to watch that movie, by the way. If you're a coach or somebody, you need to have your kids watch that movie. But yeah, Ja, X, Jay-Z, they brought back Def Jam. They brought back the East Coast.
Yes.
So yeah, so you got to acknowledge that, man. Because guess what, man? For you not to acknowledge it just because a new artist came out and you lost the beat, that's crazy within itself. That's irresponsible. If you want me to be honest with you.
Two things could be true.
Yes, indeed.